What's up, everybody? Welcome to NFL Prop Shop. It's Katie and Dani, and we're going to be hanging out with you guys weekly, giving you our favorite NFL prop bets of the week. Which, Dani, coming off maybe one of the most boring weeks of the NFL season so far, nobody likes a tie, honey, but it looks like there's plenty of opportunity for things to get a little spicier in Week 11. We're going to start out with one of our favorite bets of this week, first touchdown score. So, Dani, who are you looking at to punch in that first TD, and why is it Superman himself?
Cam is back. That's right. So we're going to take Cam to score the first touchdown in the game, and he's back and bringing energy that Carolina has seriously been missing. Christian McCaffrey even said their energy in the locker room is so much different with Cam. He brings that winning mentality, and the guys really want to go to work for him. So I feel like they're going to set Cam up for success, and he's going to punch that ball in on the first opening drive. He's going to score the first touchdown. And you know what? He's going to do it to kind of throw it in Riverboat Ron's face a bit, because who doesn't love playing against an old coach and just showing them what they've been missing?
It's that old flame, hey? Well, and you talk about just bringing that energy. Like, as soon as Cam walks into that building, I haven't been there, but you just know that it is tangible what he brings to that team. And just the excitement for Panthers fans. Like, I feel like maybe it's time that we collectively admit that Sam Darnold might not be the answer for that one. And without Chase Young on that Washington defense, that really, really opens it up for them.
Totally. And yeah, that's right. Sam Darnold leads the league in interceptions. So, Cam's going to definitely change that right away. I'm really excited for this game, actually. And I really think that Cam is going to keep the Panthers on a little winning streak here. He's going to continue from last week and get them rolling into a playoff spot.
So our next bet, one of my favorite bets of the week, it's the Dallas Cowboys and Kansas City Chiefs. Pretty casual game, I'd say. But for this one, over 301 passing yards for Dak at -110. I'm smashing the over for every single thing in this game. For Patrick, for Dak, for everyone, for yards, I think it's going to be an absolute shootout. So I bought stock heading into the season with Dallas's offense. And Dani, I am not about to sell that. Dak looks healthy, and after not one, but two surgeries, which was a casual little Hard Knocks nugget that they dropped. My jaw dropped with that. But he looks poised. He looks confident. It's some of the best football he's played. And he's getting Michael Gallup back this week. So you're not just bringing Michael Gallup into a bunch of nobodies. You're adding him to a roster of CeeDee Lamb, Murray Cooper, Dalton Schultz, the two-headed monster that is Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard. So it's not like if you double cover one of these guys, you're taken care of. They have so many different ways that they're able to beat you. And I think Dak is just going to air it out. But there's a lot of people that are still pretty down on the Chiefs, which I have zero time for. They showed their swagger coming back in that game. And I think we're just going to keep seeing the Chiefs. You've got Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, and I have zero time for anybody that said that Pat is not a good quarterback anymore. I think that is a joke. But yeah, I think both teams are going to score a ton in this one. It feels like a big measuring stick game for kind of where these two teams are at. We want to see if Kansas City can keep it consistent off their big win. This is a big test for Dallas, but I think they can hang in there. Like I said, smashing the over for all of it, but I like Dak's passing yards in this one.
For sure. I think that Dak is going to outplay Patrick in this one. I'm curious to see if the Chiefs can keep it rolling, because they did beat a Raiders team that's kind of self-imploded this season. So they haven't really beat anybody lately that's really impressed me. So I'm willing to see if they can do it and change my mind. Yeah, I think Patrick's a great quarterback, but this year with the amount of interceptions he's thrown, it's been really disappointing. And even Travis Kelce hasn't been scoring the touchdowns we're accustomed to seeing. And I'm just missing the kind of the spice and fire from the Chiefs that we've been accustomed to. And I think that Dallas is going to, once again, send them with an L and send them down the division a little bit further. So.
Well, the one thing that I will say about that Chiefs defense, though, is that's the reason I think this is going to be quite the shootout, because Chris Jones coming back, I didn't realize that he had been playing with, I think it was ruptured tendons for most of the season. He did not look himself, and he took the 2 games off, and he looks back. So that could provide a bit of a challenge for Dak. But even with that, I still think we're smashing the over with that.
Totally. All right. So from one game to another, we have this matchup of the Texans and Titans, and this is an AFC South matchup, which features the division-leading Titans taking on the bottom-dwelling Texans, with one lowly win this season. So basically, with the Texans coming off their bye, they're hoping to kind of be a disruptor and hand the Titans a loss. But with Derrick Henry out, the Titans are gonna need somebody to step up, and that person who's been scoring touchdowns has not been AJ Brown, who only has 3 receiving touchdowns this year, which is tied for the team league. It's been Ryan Tannehill. So you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna take an anytime touchdown for Ryan Tannehill and watch him do his little jump man into the end zone. I mean, it is a little bit disrespectful to Michael Jordan, and I don't like seeing Ryan Tannehill do the jump man. But we're going to take this bet because in 4 of the last 5 games, Ryan Tannehill has scored a rushing touchdown. And that's where the touchdowns have been coming from in the absence of Derrick Henry.
It's so crazy. First of all, you're telling me that Ryan Tannehill and Michael Jordan are in the same elite tier of athletes? Come on.
No. He just thinks
such
he
disrespect.
is.
The cool thing about the Titans that they keep impressing me again and again. It's like we talked about with the Cowboys. It's the way they're able to win. I could not believe they're still hanging around when you lose the big dog. You think, okay, they're 1 injury away from totally losing the team. And you see that they're the kind of team that it doesn't matter if they can outskill you or not. They can out hit you and just totally throw off your game plan. I will take the Titans on every single number to just blow out those lowly Texans. They are a sad unit right now. But yeah, Tannehill's been impressing me. Without Julio, without Derrick, he's still just putting points on the board, even if he has to do it himself. Okay, our next bet, we've got the Arizona Cardinals and Seattle Seahawks. I'm looking at a guy named Tyler Lockett, who's supposed to come in at around 5.5 for receptions. I'm smashing the under for that one. And this isn't just indicative of Tyler Lockett. This is Russell Wilson. So simply put, if anybody watched that last game, Russ was bad. And I'm not talking bad for Russell Wilson. I'm talking like Ben DiNucci, 3rd string starter for the Cowboys in primetime, getting his first start and being the worst quarterback in history bad. And we're just not used to seeing that from Russ. It was such a big buildup for him to come back, and his recovery was so sped up. And me sitting here with a Seahawks jersey hung in my closet, I'm going, I don't know if I'm fully comfortable with that. And I had no reason to be because he was trash. So with that, the Lockett, having DK Metcalf on that other side, I just don't see him getting a ton of receptions, simply just because, like I said, talking about Russ and that finger, the game last week, DK and Lockett had 15 targets combined and they had 4 receptions. So Russ just wasn't as accurate as we're used to him seeing. So if they're looking for a get right game, I'm not loving that against this Cards defense. They've got 2 pretty damn good corners to cover DK and Lockett in Robert Alford and Byron Murphy Jr. So I think that Russ might be trying, but I just don't love the accuracy that he's throwing with right now. So yeah, Lockett had 2 receptions in week 8 and week 9. And then the week after that, he had 12, but that was with Geno Smith season, baby. So with Russ, I just don't trust him to get it to Lockett, especially with DK Metcalf on that other side. DK didn't practice on Wednesday, so that's something to keep an eye on. But I think if he's not in the game, that'll make the line move even more, which I still just don't trust based on the play of Russ.
All right, so next up, the Bengals are heading to Vegas for the first time to take on a Raiders team who's lost 2 in a row, but also so have the Bengals, and they both share a 5-4 record and are 3rd in their respective divisions, so something's got to give. And in this one, I've honestly been loving watching the Bengals this season, and I've never been able to say that before.
Not once.
Never. Joe Burrow has just, I don't know, brought this little love for the Bengals to me, and I'm enjoying it. He's at 1st in yards per completion, averaging 12.8 this season. He's 7th in passing yards, and he's thrown 20 touchdowns. And he's not perfect. He does lead the league tied with Sam Darnold for 11 interceptions. But when you're throwing 20 touchdowns and just throwing bombs, it's fun to watch. Mm-hmm. And I'm here for it.
I'm just so happy with how he's come back from that injury, because it was so gruesome that you just never quite know. And just seeing how him and Jamar Chase have been working together has been sensational. Yeah, I'm with you, Dani. I haven't been a big Bengals guy until the season, and they're a fun team to watch and they're easy to cheer for sure. So
Totally.
to recap our bets, so my two this week, I have the over 301.5 passing yards for Dak Prescott at -110. Tyler Lockett smashed the under for receptions, which should come in at -5.5.
And that's right. And for me, we're taking first touchdown scorer, Cam Newton. He's back. Take him. We're also taking Ryan Tannehill, doing a jump man into the end zone for an anytime touchdown. And then we're going to take Joe Burrow at over 1.5 touchdowns, because last week was the only week he scored 0 touchdowns. And in every single other game, he scored at least 2. So take this week. He's back.
We love to see it. That's all for us today. Thanks so much for hanging out with us. For Dani and Katie, welcome to the NFL Prop Shop.